Hi, gang. So I've never done a cooking video before. And just a warning, my knife skill sucks, so I'm not going to show you my garlic after I mince it. But I'm making balsamic chicken thighs. And so the first thing is you want to marinate the thighs, which are mostly defrosted. The recipe says 2 cloves of garlic. I use 4. And I love garlic, but the reason I don't use more than that is because while you want to taste the garlic in this recipe, the first time I made it, the garlic was a little bit overwhelming. Um, so I only do, well, I do like 3 and a tiny one, but to taste. I'm all about to taste when it comes to, uh, well, any herb, but in particular garlic. One time I made tzatziki. I love tzatziki, and it's fun to make. I made tzatziki for a theater event. It was a potluck thing, and I made tzatziki, and I made, enough for 30 people or 20 people. It was a good sized batch, but I ended up using 12 cloves of garlic. Now, any of you have ever made tzatziki, that's a lot. Although, again, tzatziki is a garlic heavy recipe. You can't avoid it. Jeez, I hope I don't cut myself. But I made it for me, not for the general public. And I've had to remember that over the years. I don't love spicy food by any stretch. I do like some spicy food, but I used to be a lot stronger when it came to spicy food. Once upon a time, I'm much less strong about it now. But this tzatziki was so good, but other folks couldn't eat it because it was just too garlicky. Anyway, 4 cloves into the marinade. Next up, we're going to throw in a couple of tablespoons of olive oil. And I suppose probably the best thing to do, all the cooking videos I've ever seen, they get all their stuff out on the counter, so it looks effortless. I would rather show the effort. So there. Because for me, cooking does not come naturally. I've had to learn, and I started late. 2 tablespoons olive oil down. I learned late because I had 2 parents who liked to cook and 2 siblings, much older than me siblings. I didn't really start learning to cook until after my divorce, because then my husband was the cook. So in my early 30s, I started to pick up cooking, and so I'm not instinctual when it comes to cooking very much, and I tend to underspice. That being said, after the 2 cloves of garlic, we drop a 1/4 cup of balsamic vinegar. Okay, here's the balsamic vinegar. And I apologize in advance for those of you who don't measure. And eventually, when I get to know a recipe, I start not measuring. I measure with the heart, as has been said. What did it say? 1/4 cup. The first time I cook a recipe, I tend to follow it pretty much to the letter, unless I know of something I'm not going to like. Something like this recipe calls for 2 tablespoons of brown sugar. I will only use 1, and I've done that from the beginning, but that's a little sweet for my taste. So down goes a 1/4 cup of balsamic vinegar, and boy, this is gonna be a long form video. Sorry, and you can not watch it if you don't like it. That's our right as Americans. Next, great. 2 tablespoons of brown sugar. No, I'm only going to use 1. If I can get to the brown sugar. Oh, there it is. Oh, I think I wouldn't be able to create meals even more. I have a small kitchen, limited counter space, and I love that I have a kitchen that I can create stuff in. But like several times I've tried to make scones. Not an easy task in a small kitchen. Anyway, I appreciate watching cooking videos with people with really well laid out and lovely kitchens, and you got all the bits and bobs. That's awesome. Although I am thinking, okay, 1 tablespoon of brown sugar goes down. I am thinking about getting a chopper, thing like I've seen on several videos. My knife skills suck. I suppose my bow should be glad for that. But yeah, my knife skills really suck. But I've seen the choppers, and I think that might be a thing I need to think about. Anyway, brown sugar put away. Of course, the other thing about having a small kitchen is that you have to put each ingredient away after you've used it. 1 tablespoon of soy sauce, which I will use a whole tablespoon of soy sauce. 8 tablespoons. Another thing that inhibits my cooking abilities, oh God, you can see my arm shaking, sorry about that, is that my attention span, I guess. It would be my attention span that's completely sucky. I'll look at a recipe and say, okay, 1 tablespoon. Or what I'll say, it says 1 teaspoon. I'll be like, okay, 1 oh, wait. It's like I don't remember things seconds after I've seen them. Anyway, so mix that up a little to see what we got. Make sure. Oh yeah, it smells good. It smells right. Yeah, this is like the 5th or no, it's more than that. This is probably at least the 7th or 8th, maybe the 9th time I've made this dish. I love it. Darn it all, I try not to overmake dishes. Because you don't want to get tired of them. But I do have a few that I enjoy making. This is one of them. It calls for like freshly cracked black pepper. That would be another kind of another thing I would love to own. And no salt. We don't need salt with this recipe, I don't think, because of the soy sauce. Whew, that was a lot of pepper. Yeah, my beau loves pepper, and I don't think I use, generally speaking, I don't use enough pepper in my recipes for him. All right. I get a little bitty whisk. I love these little whisks. Mixing, I just want to make sure the brown sugar gets all mixed in with all of this, right? So I think we're good. All right, now down go the 95%. Oh gosh, I gotta trim the fat. Yeah, no, they're actually pretty thawed, so that's cool. But I do have to trim the fat. Yeah, just a little bit. Anyway, I don't know. I have zero problem handling raw meat. In fact, I kind of appreciate it. It's kind of like I think of Star Trek, where Keiko's response to finding out her husband's mother handled raw meat, touched it with her bare hands. She was like, because of course they have replicators in the 21st century, right? But for my part, and plus, okay, this is going to turn, if you guys haven't stopped watching by now, this might do it. I appreciate the connection with the food. Because I know we've become very disconnected to our food. So I like to handle my food, get to know it a little, maybe even thank it for giving of itself. Yeah, I've also hugged a tree or two in my time. Uh-oh. Could have set this up all better. I guess I should use a different device if I'm going to do this. Anyway, trimmed. Trimmed the fat is. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and put these in our dish. I'm using this dish. And this recipe does call for skinless, boneless thighs. I only have 2, so that's what I'm using, but they're ginormous. So I think that'll just work out fine. Oh, and they just fit. So that's cool. Okay. Yeah, I think we're going to wash it to hands. Or no, I actually may end up touching the meat again. All right. Give it one last little stir. Make sure all that yummy goodness is all ready to go over my meat, which it is. And I love these bowls. They've got a little spout, these metal bowls. Yeah, and obviously, if you've done any sort of cooking in your time, just try to get it evenly distributed. Oh, and in heavens, don't leave any garlic behind. That you definitely don't want to do. All right, now I'm going to cover these and put him in the fridge to marinate for a few hours. No, I'm not going to keep you here while I do that, for heaven's sake. And I don't know if I can do this. Gotta wash the hands, obviously. I don't know if I can do this, but somewhere how I'll figure it out if I can. I will post a picture of the end product for you to see. You can serve this with rice. If I had egg noodles, that's what I would serve it with, only because we had rice just the other night. But it looks like we're having rice again tonight, so that's what I'm gonna serve it with. Anyway, if you've lasted this long, you know what? If you've lasted this long, please like this video. I think I've gotten maybe 10 likes in the year and change I've been doing videos. I'm not sure why. Am I just not appealing in the least? Anyway, give me a like if you're still here, and be kind to yourselves. Be kind to others.